The following presentation is brought to you by Mr. Main Event Brian Waters and the Real Dwayne Allen. The Wrestling Wrealm, the show for the intelligent wrestling fans. Off the top rope, I dwell in the wrestling realm. Like Jake stay in the snake pit and Kane be in hell. Like Jake to stay in the graveyard and Punk in the shy. Call me Snooker cause I'm super and fly. You can hate all you want, but I'm flossing. The Miz said I'm awesome, and I'm upholding the law just like the big boss man. With Mr. Main Event Brian Waters, the real Dwayne Allen, toss you over the border like Hernandez, Mandez, pressing the stands. It's the show for the intelligent wrestling fans. Hitman like Hawk, but I'm not from Calgary. I'm all about the bill, so let that gold dust shower me, empower me like Farouk and the nation. If you don't know your history, then you should change the station. But if you do, you can cruise to YouTube / the Wrestling Realm. Your lessons are stale. Say the same old lines, man, you destined to fail. Like the Shockmaster or the Wrestler Nails. I'm a heartbreak kid, and my bid to be champion is unmatched. Anybody step, I'm face planting them. With Mr. Main Event and the Real Dwayne, you the sisters of love, we the powers of pain. You see we coming with a spear while you're monkey flipping. It's Brian Waters, Dwayne Allen, and your boy Trenton. And that's just how the story goes. That's just how the story goes. It's the Wrestling Wrealm, baby. The Wrestling Wrealm. Mr. Main Event Brian Waters, the Real Dwayne Allen, and I'm your boy Trent CMG. You know what it is, baby. Let's go.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Wrestling Wrealm. Ladies and gentlemen, you get a treat today. You get Mr. Main Event Brian Waters,
the Real Dwayne Allen,
and the brand of the operation, Cameron G.
Yes, sir. We are all in the building.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are joined by our new and official co-host. If you haven't learned by now, if you haven't listened to the Wrestling Wrealm, the Dungeon Edition on Mondays at 5 o'clock, correct?
Yep.
We have added a new addition to the Wrestling Wrealm fold, along with our independent correspondent, Brandon Guy. We've also added the brains of the operation, Cameron G. This gentleman is now officially the fourth, I guess, co-host.
Yeah.
Part of the Wrestling Wrealm family. And Cam, I just want to say it's good to have you a part of the mix now. It's good to be associated with someone with a legit set of intelligence when it comes to the wrestling business, not just some phony facade trying to relive memories that were not even there in the first place. But that aside, ladies and gentlemen, we have a job to do. So enough with the accolades and the introductions. Mr. Main Event, let's get this show on the road.
Raw 1000, did you love it or did you not? Me personally, I liked it. Gentlemen, what did you think?
Cam, take it away, bro.
I tell you what, I had such high expectations for the show that I was actually let down. You know, I really felt like it could have been better. I expected more. I wanted to be surprised, and the surprise that I got, I was not satisfied with. So my answer to that question was no. No, I was not happy, and I would have definitely liked for something to be given to me differently.
Wow. Mr. Main Event, overall show, what'd you think?
10 out of 10.
Yeah, well.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
This guy's the consummate wrestling fan. He's going to like whatever they give him because it's wrestling. That's just what it is, though. There's nothing wrong with it, though.
Yeah, but, you know, to sit back, because, like I said, I was going into the show, and as Mr. Brandon Guy stated on the Wrestling Wrealm Dungeon Edition this past Monday, as me and Cam counted down our top 5 favorite moments, just go in and watch it as a fan, and that's what I did. Simply sat back. You know, I had so many mark out moments where I was just happy, literally just happy to be there, happy to watch the Wrestling Wrealm. You know, I was sat there with my 2-year-old, had him jumping up and down, had to explain to him some of these guys, some of these wrestlers, some of your Shawn Michaels, your Road Dogg Jesse James, your Bad Beep Billy Gunn,
that was fun.
X-Pac. I mean, then let's even go a little further back. Seeing Bob Backlund come back, Psycho Sid, Road Warrior Animal, Lita, you know, and of course, the People's Champ, The Rock, not once but twice. So being able to see all this, and then I kept looking at the time, and I was like, oh yes, it's only 8:39, and we still got a lot more to go. Yes, it's only 9:30, we still got more to go.
Yeah, definitely.
Tell you what, if that was any indication of what we have to look forward to for the next couple weeks of Raw or however long the 3-hour thing goes along, I gotta say I'm gonna have a lot of nights where I'm gonna be going to bed early because my eyes were heavy, and I looked at the clock too, and I was like, man, it's only 9:30, it's only 10 o'clock. You know, we've seen those guys already. We've seen Animal, should I say? You know, we've seen Bob Backlund, and we've seen Psycho Sid, and we've seen Lita not too long ago at the Slammies. You know, so I mean, I didn't get anything from anybody that I hadn't seen in a long time and felt in a long time. And the one guy, as you guys know, who I look forward to seeing the most, Bret Hart, he had such a small role in the night. It was really disappointing.
I mean, see, the thing about that is, like, I see where both of you guys are coming from, and I'm sort of the in-between guy between you guys. How Mr. Main Event, you know, you clearly heard the reasons why he loved it so much, and you hear Cameron G, you know, and what he found so disappointing about the show. Me, I saw the show late. I didn't get a chance to see it live due to some unfortunate circumstances that I had to deal with at the time. But I did go back and get a chance to watch the show, and I didn't get that surprise factor of like seeing someone I did. But it wasn't meant to be that. It was that way for me personally. But like I saw the show as an in-between show.
Okay.
I didn't feel like they want to give us anything new, like I probably might have expected. But I figured that it was just a celebration. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But what I liked about the show, primarily, not like I didn't like the show at all, but I like how they ended the show continuing the regular WWE storyline. It was like, okay, back to our scheduled program. Yeah. With CM Punk and the whole thing that happened, how that ended at the end of the show, which we'll go into a little bit later. I love how they started the show off strong, you know, with the DX reunion. Like I told Miss Mavy, I said I could have cried when I saw that. To see everybody, because in my world, you know, when I was at that age when they were out, I was playing with action figures. In my world, Shawn Michaels was always part of DX. It was all of those guys together. Yeah. You know what I mean? In my action figure world, he had no back injury. He was there every Monday night with that WWF Monster Ring. You know what I'm saying? So to see those guys back together, that was just like that group has always meant a lot to me growing up. I've always felt like I was a part of DX. So seeing those guys and seeing Billy Gunn Barry Hatch with Triple H and just seeing that group, it was like that started showing like, okay, you have my attention now.
So who's your champion? Shawn Michaels or Triple H?
Shawn Michaels, come on now. Ask me questions like that.
Triple H, so he was still mid-card?
Absolutely.
Okay, and X-Pac was still holding down the opening.
That's right, and New Age Outlaws were tag team champions. That's just the way it was.
Gotcha. But you know,
Bret Hart was my champion.
I can't be mad at that.
Hey, I didn't play with action figures.
The only reason Bret Hart wasn't my champion is because I broke the head off. I had a Slammers 1997, and I was too rough with the guy. I broke his neck twice. And I had to.
Was that on purpose or what?
No, it was by mistake. I was just being too rough with it. I had to write him off the story. You know, Bret Hart had a career-ending neck injury. Okay. And he was no longer compete. This is
worse than WWE 12.
Okay.
Career-ending injuries.
Wow. The only action figure I had was a gift from my godmother. She bought me the Ahmed Johnson. And at the time, I thought he was one of the best wrestlers in the world.
Wow. Is he fat now?
Man, like I said, at the time. But, you know, I'm looking at it and seeing those guys. Let's talk about DX.
Okay.
Being able to see them come out together, like I mentioned, Road Dogg and Billy Gunn and Triple H burying the hatchet, you know. Shawn Michaels said they hugged before the show, they hugged after the show, they hugged during the show. It was an emotional time for all of them.
Right.
And for a fan, so to speak, it was good. It was a great way to open up the show, especially when Triple H said, hold on, it was more of us, you know. And I'm sitting up there, and I'm like, I don't believe this. You know? And that's because I kind of stayed off of the forums and the Wrestling Wrealm group page. I would go in there and mention something like, oh, DX, and even on Twitter. But I kind of stayed away from the social networks because when me and Cam had did the show earlier, it made me relive a lot of moments when I was younger. Right. With the exception of, in my top 5 moments, with the exception of Miz winning the title and The Rock coming back for WrestleMania 27. All those moments was when I was, you know, in school. So it made me relive those nights. And that's what I did. I took into that show. I took that emotion. So I was like, I'm going to just sit back and enjoy it as a fan. And as a fan, to see all these guys come out, nothing made me even more happier than to see Damian Sandow come out, because it got a chance to see DX at his best, and that's just beating down anybody who annoys the crowd.
Definitely. Tell you what, I got a question for you. Since you enjoyed the DX segment so much, did it mean anything to you? Did you feel cheated at least that there was no China, there was no Tori?
Oh, not at all.
Absolutely no, not at all. Not at all. Like,
you know, Tori doesn't really mean much to me. That's no offense to her. I mean, I never really seen her much of a figure of DX. But China, on the other hand, you know, with everything that she's going through right now, I understand why they kept her off. But if she was on her best behavior, she's definitely somebody I would have liked to have seen on Monday night.
I mean, I look at it the same way. I don't think there's no doubt that China would have been on there if, you know, like I said, if she wasn't dealing with what she was dealing with. You know, like I said, it wasn't too long ago. She had just wrote Vince a handwritten letter telling him, you know, let's put our personal issues aside so we can do business. And it just, unfortunately, with the way that WWE is now, with, like, you know, first of all, with her personal problems and what's associated with, you know, porn and stuff like that, and with Linda McMahon in the Senate race, and WWE trying to clean up their act a little bit, but yet give people what they want. I feel like what we got was as good as it was going to get, and we were lucky we got that. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because even if we got Road Dogg, X-Pac, Triple H, and Shawn Michaels, it still wouldn't have been the same. But Billy Gunn being there, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Playing that primary role and say, wow, the band is really back together. And I'm going to tell you who the winner of all that really was. And I said this the other day, I'm not sure if it was in the Realm on Twitter. I said the real winner in that group was X-Pac. You know why?
Explain, because I agree.
Because you got to think about it. X-Pac was one, he was part of the Clique. He was part of that reunion. He was part of the NWO. He was part of that reunion. And he was part of the DX. He was part of that reunion. I said this guy was part of, he played a hand in 3 of the major groups that developed professional wrestling as a whole. And he got to be part of all 3 groups and all 3 of their reunions. So I said this guy's, he's winning right now.
And you figure he was friends with all of them.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of, it gotta hurt in a sense. Let's just say for some stupid reason, you two weren't seeing eye to eye, and I'm stuck in the middle. I'm like, man, I just wish. So being able to see everybody come back and complete the circle, it made it so much better. You know, yeah, he still talked to Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. Those his guys too. But to be able to see everybody, it was an official D-Generation X reunion.
And it was good to see WWE give recognition to the New Age Outlaws again. Because at one point you couldn't say them, you know, because they had been on a tirade against WWE for a long time. In TNA, you know, in the independent circuit, you know, the Voodoo Kid Mafia, they were making fun of Vince and Kenny McMahon's name and all that kind of stuff. Even when they were in TNA and they showed up in Connecticut like, yeah, we're at the building, we're going to cause a surprise. It was just, they were bluffing, but trying to cause a stir because they were against WWE. They were making fun of the DX reunion at the time. You know, to see them now, all of a sudden, you saw them, we'll meet the New Age Outlaws. And they started to highlight where they started, some of their accomplishments. And it's good to see them because they were a very important tag team. They couldn't give too much credit for because of the way they've been bashing WWE and Triple H for a long time. And of course, Road Dogg, first one to bury the hatchet, get back in there, you know, say, hey, you know what, things are changing. He was that mediator to say, you know what, I've changed. And even Billy Gunn saying he changed. You know, he really said, you know what, it was my fault. You know what, my own family didn't even like me. I didn't like myself. I did a lot of stuff. It wasn't nobody's fault. And him apologize and say, you know what, I've grown up now. And Road Dogg sort of feeling like, Billy, you know, I understand you're upset, but we getting older now, man. You know, we've been through too much. These guys just got off the road. These guys been working independence up until the last maybe year or two. Billy Gunn's still working, you know, trying to make money. And it's like, now they can get some more opportunities, you know, Triple H being in charge. You know what I'm saying? Maybe in appearance, maybe royalties, maybe DVD, maybe old T-shirts. You know what I'm saying? Those things make a huge difference. And to see that happen, it was just like, man, that's where it needs to be. Yeah. And you saw it in that post-match interview on WWE.com, the exclusive section. So that's my favorite tag team. So I'm very passionate about the New Age Outlaws. So it was really, really good to see that.
I'll tell you another thing that's great about the X-Pac. He just got off a suicide watch. You know what I'm saying? So for this man to even come and have the opportunity to be in front of a crowd and the WWE to trust him in any kind of capacity is definitely a plus for him as well. So to add to that, you know, along with Billy Gunn, X-Pac's edition was definitely a plus, to say the least.
I want to say something a little controversial here. How about when DX, quote-unquote, started, first of all, they started making fun of themselves. Before I go back to in the ring, I'm going to go forward. When they was back, when Triple H was back there practicing yoga with Trish Stratus.
That was funny.
Reminded me of something there.
Yeah. And then when he leaves out, X-Pac goes, hey, Trish, how you been? And I'm sitting there thinking, leftovers again? Wasn't you had China after her and Triple H broke up? Now you trying to take Trish Stratus?
Oh, wow.
So I couldn't help but think of that. But you look back, like I said, they made fun of themselves. When they was going, they did their, you know, their segment, their catchphrases, and it was down to Shawn and Billy, and he goes, wait a minute, no, this is my part. No, I'm the one who started first. He goes, Billy, you know, he might lose his smile.
Oh, yeah, they just like all two shots at each other. And of course,
that was cool.
And then Triple H, like, you know, and he was talking about and because I'm the only one with a full head of hair. Everybody probably like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny though. It's funny to see everybody be so lighthearted and sort of picking fun at each other, and then for the way that it ended, I mean, I couldn't have asked for anything better.